one thing that I've spent the last 8 years of teaching accruing is my teacher library, my classroom library. I think it's really important for students to have access to books that are interesting to them and books that represent them and books that they can read and books that are rich and beautiful and explain about things. I have about half of my books leveled using Fontes and Pinnell leveling systems so that they have different stickers so the students know that the gold stickers are the easiest books and the blue stickers are the hardest books. And generally, as we go through the year, they figure out what books are best for them and they can go up through there. But the rest of my books I leave unleveled because in their life, in their adult life, in their high school life, and in their other class life, they're not going to have a blue star to tell them that this is a good book for them. So they need to learn other skills. I also always like to bring in books around the content that I teach. So I have a couple of bins of books that are around history and around geography, and both fiction and nonfiction. And one thing I like to do when I'm teaching history is pair a fiction book with the textbook and the other resources that we're using. If students can ground the history facts that they're using with a historical fiction text, it helps them remember it better. And it's also great to say, all right, we're studying South America. Here's 8 books about different countries in South America, both fiction and nonfiction. It gives students more access and more exposure to different concepts and different ideas. At the same time, I also think it's very important to have books that represent the students. We're lucky to live in a world with access to lots of books. I've got a bin of books in Spanish. I've got the books that I've been able to find in Hmong in my book bins. I also am always looking for new languages. It's harder to find the Oromo books, the Karen books, the Somali books, but they are out there and it's important to get them. If you can find books in the students' native language, finding books about their countries or about their culture or about things that are important to them is really important. And so I always try to find books that represent them. I also try to find books that would be interesting to them. So I have books about lowrider cars. I have books about basketball and soccer. I have books about doing magic tricks. I have books about Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! I try to find books about a wide variety of topics that will interest my students, and both fiction and nonfiction, because if you force a kid to read something they're not interested in, it will be a chore. And my goal in life is to make my students love learning and love reading.